We'll be live. Hi, everyone. Make sure you like the live stream right at the beginning of the show so that more people end up watching the stream. Let me actually do an audio check. Make sure you like the. We're good. All right, guys. Make sure you like the stream. Let me know in the live chat that you're liking the stream. Thank you so much, Mohsen. Thank you so much, Mala. Alfred is here highlighting your comments so that it's not just my opinions, it's also your opinions that get to be part of the show. So keep those opinions coming. We want to make sure that we have a diverse set of opinions here, and also for people who watch the show later, see your comments on the show as well. Let's get right into it. Let me actually bring up the first video, but before I play it, let me just read the context. This is on Wednesday in Washington, D.C. These are left-leaning people who are supporting Hamas. And again, I'm not saying this lightly. I will show you the evidence, because a lot of times some of you who are new here think that I'm exaggerating. They're like, no, Armin, they're supporting Palestine. They're not supporting Hamas. And I will show you that they are actually supporting Hamas. And it's so unfortunate for the Palestinians that the flag of Palestine is now also associated with not supporting the people of Palestine. The flag of Palestine and the name Palestine is now associated with supporting terrorism. This is what I think about when I see the flag of Palestine, and I will show you who is doing this and why I think this, and why people here who follow this channel know this, and why these people who are acting like they're defending Palestine, they're actually the greatest threat to the Palestinian people. So they're supporting Hamas. They torn down burned American flags. Apparently, they torn down 3 American flags while shouting Allahu Akbar, even though some of these people are not Muslim. So these are leftists who are shouting Allahu Akbar and waving Hamas flags. That tells you what, I give it away. The rioters were reacting to a speech by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, which if we have time, we will get into some of that, before the U.S. Congress, where he thanked the lawmakers for supporting Israel in its fight against Islamic terrorists responsible for the October 7th massacre. The disturbances took place mainly at Union Station, where extremists removed 3 American flags and replaced them with Palestinian flags. As they burned the American flags, they chanted Allahu Akbar. Okay, let's just watch this video now. So they're chanting, burn that shit. Burn that shit! Burn that shit! Burn that shit! Burn that shit! So if you notice, they were also chanting from the river to the sea, the genocidal chant from the river to the sea. They were chanting that as well at the beginning when they were removing the American flag. Burn that shit! Burn that shit! Burn that shit! That's an effigy of Netanyahu they're burning. And let me see. Let's look at this video. Burn that shit! 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 Like, look at these are Americans, people. These are Americans, not a single. Obviously, none of these leftists will ever hold an American flag unless they are gonna burn one, right? Look at that. By the way, guys, let me know in the live chat, what do you think? Is what they're doing illegal, burning the American flag? I want to see if any of you will get the point, like, before I give you the answer. Will any of you I'm not saying whether it should be or should not be legal. That's a different discussion. Right now in the United States, burning that American flag, is it illegal? Let me know in the live chat. I want to see who's paying attention here. Okay, D is saying no, not illegal. Not illegal, but disgusting. So you guys are wrong, actually. Everybody's saying no. Oh, somebody's saying it's illegal. Why is it illegal? So a lot of you are saying no, it's legal, but disgusting. Look at my answer. Yeah, Mukau is correct. It is illegal. So and most people are saying not illegal. No, you guys are wrong. You guys are wrong. This is illegal. Why is it illegal? So I'll give you some time to think about it. Why is this illegal? No, not fire hazard. Ah, good job. Angry Keyboard Warrior got it. Because it's not their flag. It's property destruction. It would only be legal if they had brought their own flag. Right? They burned. This is state property. They took out the flag and they burned someone else's property. This is property destruction. So it is illegal. If they had brought their own American flag and they burned that would be legal. This is illegal. Good job. Yes. Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! So let's look. Somebody actually in the middle of all this came in and pick up the flag. Hold on. I stole it.
He got a piece of it. Try to take the American flag that was burning.
All right, so now I'm going to show you some images. This is the part that a lot of you haven't seen. So some of you have seen them burning the American flags, but at the Union Station, let me actually put up this image. Look at this. Look at this. Look at what they're writing. So let me read the context for this one. Hold on one second. So they vandalized the Christopher Columbus Memorial Fountain with graffiti, and look what they wrote on it. So when I'm telling you guys that these people are terrorist sympathizers and they're not the pro-Palestinian, these people do not care about Palestinians. This is not about Palestinian people. This is about being anti-Semitic, being anti-Israeli, and also pro-terrorism, pro-Hamas. Look at this. Look at the vandalization and look at what they wrote on the memorial. Hamas is coming. Okay. And also notice something else. Let me show you this. In the middle of these protests. Hold on. Yes. Let me remove this one. Okay, so what is he holding? Tell me, what is he holding there? What is that flag? So you see Palestinian flags. What is this flag that this guy is holding? It might look, because it's green, it might look a little bit like the Saudi flag, but it's not the Saudi flag. No, it's not ISIS flag. The ISIS flag is black. Yes, it's Hamas flag. Good job. No. Yes, angry keyboard warrior got it. Look, let me show you guys. Let me make sure. So this is the Hamas flag. And in the middle of the protest, these are Americans holding the Hamas flag. And let me show you more people during the protest holding the Hamas flag. So it's not just a Palestine flag. The people coming here are actually directly supporting. And let me show you another sign that one of these people are holding. And again, I have to be careful with this one. Dear YouTube, we do not endorse this. We're against this. We're highlighting it to bring awareness to problematic views people have. Please do not punish us for it. Maybe I shouldn't even read it. Maybe I should just show it on the screen, the next image. Yeah, maybe I should not read this. What do you guys think? Let me zoom in for you guys to see what the guy is holding. I'm not going to read this one. I'm sorry. YouTube might actually be very sensitive about this. Right? So these are the views that these people have, right? Let's see what Netanyahu responded to these people. Let's listen to him. His response was pretty epic, actually. Let's listen to this.
For all we know, Iran is funding the anti-Israel protests that are going on right now outside this building. Not that many, but they're there, and throughout the city. Well, I have a message for these protesters. When the tyrants of Tehran, who hang gays from cranes and murder women for not covering their hair, are praising, promoting, and funding you, you have officially become Iran's useful idiots. Some of these protesters, it's amazing, absolutely amazing. Some of these protesters hold up signs proclaiming gays for Gaza. They might as well hold up signs saying chickens for KFC.
Look at this idiot. Look at this idiot. By the way, let me actually tell you, the fact that she's there holding a sign called a war criminal for Netanyahu, and also these idiots outside burning the American flag, I see this as a good thing for two reasons, right? The people burning the American flag, they should be condemned, but it's a good thing that they're doing it because we want them to expose themselves. We want them to show what they're standing for. Also, that is property destruction and shouldn't be free. But the fact that burning the American flag is free in the United States and is protected by, the free speech, that is a marketing of what America stands for. The fact that America is strong while these people come and when they are burning American flags, they're actually showing to the whole world how strong America is and the values that it has and what it stands for, that even its enemies could come and do stuff like this, that the amount of freedom it protects. And when you have no idea how much this image, this part where she came and sat there and she had war criminal on one side of the sign and I think the other side says genocide or something like that. But the fact that Rashida Tlaib was holding that sign, sitting there, she is promoting America without even knowing it. And I know she's an anti-American. Look, she's wearing a Palestinian flag. She's supposed to be an American representative for American people, and she's wearing a Palestinian flag. But her sitting there, this is actually an endorsement of the United States. Because, for example, I know people watching this from Iran, they could not believe. They can believe, but they're so impressed that United States is such a country that you have somebody coming there sitting as a politician and supporting the enemies of the United States, and it's allowed. This actually strengthens the United States. It strengthens its standing. People are so imagine somebody in the parliament of the Islamic Republic of Iran, while somebody's giving a speech against Israel, going out and having a flag of Israel and holding a sign saying, "I support Israel," sitting there. Imagine that. Like, that shows the difference between United States and countries that this lady supports. Imagine in Gaza, who this woman is supporting, somebody comes out and starts supporting Israel. Or maybe in one of the councils that they have to decide, I don't know what to do, somebody was like, by the way, I think we should end the war. I support Israel, and I think we should make peace with Israel. Imagine what would happen to that person. So this just shows the difference between the United States and all these other countries, all these other backward countries.
Like December 7th, 1941, and September 11th, 2001, October 7th is a day that will forever live in infamy. It was the Jewish holiday of Simchat Torah. It began as a perfect day, not a cloud in the sky. Thousands of young Israelis were celebrating at an outdoor music festival. And suddenly, at 6:29 a.m., as children were still sleeping soundly in their beds in the towns and kibbutzim next to Gaza, suddenly heaven turned into hell. 3,000 Hamas terrorists stormed into Israel. They butchered 1,200 people from 41 countries, including 39 Americans. Proportionately, compared to our population size, that's like 20 9/11s in one day.
We should never stop reminding people about October 7th. Don't let that day become normalized as something that, okay, we're like done with it. We have that. It's such an important thing to keep doing. By the way, notice how Netanyahu is wearing both the flag of the United States and the flag of Israel. Oh, we got a super chat from Jay Freeman. Thank you so much for the shekels. I appreciate that. This is great. We have support from Israel. Saying hi from, what is this? It sounds like Kafir. I don't know how to read that, but hi from over there. And thanks for the great work. Well, you're welcome. Thank you so much, Jay. And saying, have a falafel on me. I will have a falafel. Okay, thank you so much, Jay. I appreciate the support. I see you guys are out for this, starting some of your comments. I will read some of your comments after I show you some of these videos.
Israel will fight.
Village. It's a village. Yona village. How do you pronounce that? KFAR something village? Okay, so it's a village.
Until we destroy Hamas's military capabilities, end its rule in Gaza, and bring all our hostages home.
Guys, Netanyahu watches our shows because a lot of the things that he said in his show, he didn't used to say. No, I'm just kidding, by the way. I'm not this delusional, okay? But I'm just kidding. But he, in this speech, he said a lot of the things that he didn't used to say, but we say on this show. Like, I could do a review of his speech and could be like, hey, look, this is what we have been saying. This is what we have been. He's copying us. And also, this part was also a criticism that we had with Netanyahu, because at the beginning of the war, he was saying we will destroy Hamas. We will annihilate Hamas. And we're like, he shouldn't say that. He should say we will destroy Hamas's military capability. You're not going to be able to destroy Hamas. Hamas is an ideology. It's not going to be destroyable with bullets, guns and bullets and tanks and helicopters. You should say that we will destroy Hamas military capability. And now that he's saying that, well, I'm Netanyahu. If you're watching our guys, I'm kidding. Don't think I'm this delusional. This is a joke. But if you're watching our show, you can contact me. You could be a guest on our show. Look at this. This is a huge improvement.
People from 41 countries, including 39 Americans. Proportionately, compared to our population size, that's like 20 9/11s in one day. Israel will fight until we destroy Hamas's military capabilities.
Yes, that's it. That's a much more achievable objective.
End its rule in Gaza and bring all our hostages home.
And its rule in Gaza, yeah. So yeah, your ideology will survive or whatever, might even grow, but your ability to rule Gaza and your military capability, that's what should be destroyed. The rest is an ideological battle, which people like us on this channel and elsewhere are fighting. So, support this channel, because the military part is the governments. The ideological part, that's where you and me come in, right? And that's why you need to support this channel by just simply liking the stream.
That's what total victory means, and we will settle for nothing less.
Yes. No ceasefire until you have absolute victory. It's ridiculous. It's insane. By the way, guys, remember how they said that attacking Rafah is going to be the greatest humanitarian crisis of all time, and do not do that, and like, oh, the number of people dying is going to, like, how come like people forgot about that? Like, they were saying, like, see, all eyes on Rafah. What happened? They went into Rafah, and all the things that they warned us about, it never happened. Apparently, Israel managed to take over Rafah without all of the things that they warned us about. Why are they not back here and saying, like, okay, so maybe it wasn't as bad as we thought it's going to be? Like, are they going to, where are all those people that warned us about this? They're not apologizing. They're not saying, they're not coming here and telling us they were wrong, like the 10 other times that were wrong about everything at that house that happened in Gaza.
The day after we defeat Hamas, a new Gaza can emerge. My vision for that day is of a demilitarized and de-radicalized Gaza. Israel does not seek to resettle Gaza, but for the foreseeable future, we must retain overriding security control there to prevent the resurgence of terror, to ensure that Gaza never again poses a threat to Israel. In World War II, as Britain fought on the front lines of civilization, Winston Churchill appealed to Americans with these famous words: "Give us the tools and we'll finish the job." Today, as Israel fights on the front line of civilization, I too appeal to America. Give us the tools faster and we'll finish the job faster. I also want to thank President Trump for all the things he did for Israel, from recognizing Israel's sovereignty over the Golan Heights, to confronting Iran's aggression, to recognizing Jerusalem as our capital and moving the American embassy there.
Yeah, so Kamala Harris didn't attend, which is insane. Whatever you think about how Netanyahu or Israel is going on with the war, whether you have criticism for it or not, Israel is a main ally of the United States, and you were supposed to be here and you're not. Like, your main priority should be to maintain your close relationship with your strongest allies, and it doesn't get any stronger than the relationship between Israel and United States. So that's insane. Not showing up here is insane. By the way, something that wasn't included in this clip that I will mention to you. So here's the thing. One part of the speech that is not included here, maybe it will be included in this clip. I don't know. We'll see. Because I watched the speech. Again, I'm joking here, but Netanyahu is watching our shows. Well, you know why? Because we suggested on this channel that Gaza should, like, if we want for Gaza to have a state at some point, we should copy Japan and Germany and have it demilitarized for a long time. Maybe he watches my Persian shows. That's what we suggested, and we mentioned specifically what happened with Japan and Germany, and he said exactly that example in his speech. Okay, he brought up that model of what United States did with Japan and Germany after World War II. He brought those as examples, as an example of demilitarization, but also not just demilitarization, de-radicalization as well. So, and he mentioned future generations of Palestinians who don't want to destroy Israel. This is the only way. It's the only way. So let's look at the highlights from this lady. Who is this lady? By the way, I need to give credit to the people that I'm using. Who's this lady? Who's this lady? I want to make sure that we give credit, guys. And sometimes I forget to give credits. Like, remind me. This is a TikTok channel called with the ID "Stop Anti-Semitism." Okay, so this lady gives some highlights from Netanyahu's speech. Let's listen to that. But before that, let's look at some super chats. Thank you, Guvan, for buying a membership as a gift from or one of the people in the live chat. Appreciate the support. And Michon is saying, but Armin, isn't Israel's military killing too many civilians? Israel military is performing better when it comes to the number of civilian to combatant. The ratio of civilian to combatant ratio is lower than almost any other war in modern times. What are you talking about? Done. My internet. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Everything good? I had a slight internet problem. Let me know if everything is okay now. Israel is. You guys can hear me, right? I mean, let me make sure the live chat is good. No, we're back. We're back. We're good? Yes. Let me know in the live chat if we're good. Yes, you're back. Okay, good. Thank you. So there's no army ever in the history of modern warfare that has done more than Israel's military to reduce civilian casualties. So what you're suggesting is the exact opposite. Show me anyone anywhere that has done the steps that Israel has taken to try to reduce civilian casualties. And I could list you some of them. So, for example, the dropping off the leaflets to making sure that people know which areas are going to be bombarded the heaviest, to calling people within Gaza, letting them know which parts are going to be bombarded the heaviest, to doing explosions on top of the roof of buildings that they're about to bombard, to even going in and because sometimes when they're going to bombard an area, they're warning people to get out of there, and Hamas military tries to stop people so that they have Gazan civilians under heavy bombardment, because Hamas itself has admitted that they want more civilian casualties because they use civilian casualties to make the world more anti-Israeli. And Israel sends its own military, risking its own soldiers to try to open the path for the civilians to be able to get out of the way. There has never been any army that has taken these steps to try to reduce civilian casualties. In fact, if there's any criticism for Israel's military, is that sometimes they have gone too far. You know, the recent Hamas leader that was eventually killed, right? He managed to get away because at some point there was a point where Israel knew where it was, and they used a bomb that was more targeted to try to reduce civilian casualties, and that man got away. And because he got away, eventually more civilians died because he managed to live to kill more, and Israel had to take more measures against their activities, and more civilians died. So sometimes going too easy means more civilians die. That was the mistake that Israel makes sometimes. And this time, that when they found him, they used the giant bomb. Because sometimes if you don't take out some of your key targets with a heavier bomb, it ends up killing more civilians. And these are just the measures. Look at the results. The results are like civilian to combatant ratio lower than other wars. And where has Israel achieved that? Israel has achieved that lower ratio in a place with the second highest population density in the world, against an enemy that uses human shields, against an enemy that doesn't wear a uniform, that is hard to distinguish between them and civilians. To achieve a lower civilian to combatant ratio than other wars, including the war of the United States against ISIS, that is an absolute miracle. You should be congratulating Israel for caring so much about civilian lives. The Israel military values Palestinian civilians more than Hamas ever does, and more than these protesters ever do. Nobody values the civilian lives in Gaza more than the Israeli military, given what they do to try to protect them. So you all have been misinformed. Let me do the other super chat. Okay, so because we're a 501c, I'm not going to read that. I'm just highlighting it. But thank you for the super chat. Angry Keyboard Warrior saying, what do you think of the other group protesting Netanyahu in DC for not reaching a hostage deal? Okay, so they are not idiots, but because their complaints are more legitimate. However, I do not agree with them. Right? I do not agree with them because the way to get the hostage, Israel has shown is that the way to get your hostages back is for maximum pressure. Like, I'm not going to go through military tactics and analysis right now, but the way to get what you want from Hamas is through maximum pressure. And again, as much as the hostages are very important, but the priority is to make sure something like October 7th doesn't happen again, right? Because we will have more hostages like that if we don't. So it's a very hard, it's really hard. It's very difficult balance here to make. But again, if you get the hostages, most of the hostages that has been freed so far is because you went in and you took them back by force. So let's listen to some of the highlights here.
Prime Minister Netanyahu just finished addressing Congress. Here's everything you missed. First, let's talk about who attended and who did not. Vice President Kamala Harris apparently had a scheduling conflict. The scheduling conflict, she had to speak at a sorority. We're not kidding. You heard right. She couldn't make an event that was scheduled months in advance with one of America's greatest allies because she had to speak at a sorority. Elon Musk did attend as a guest of Netanyahu. Oh, and look who else, Rashida Tlaib.
She doesn't even go here.
A woman who very clearly has America's best interests at heart. On to some more pleasant guests.
Aren't you showing how great America is by sitting there and showing to the world what you basically this backfired. What you're doing backfired. And also, you're embarrassing yourself by wearing a Palestinian flag, by wearing a Palestinian pen and the keffiyeh around your shoulder. You're showing that I do not represent America. I'm sitting here as a politician representing another country.
Pleasant guests.
With us today is Lieutenant Avichai Reuven.
Oh, this was amazing. This was so beautiful, right? So this was because the whole the not just United States or Israel, but also the Islamic world or people in Iran also were watching this. This is, you have no idea how big of an event Netanyahu's speech was. This, like, all around the world, people are watching this. And a lot of people do not know that Israel respects its Muslim citizens and especially its Muslim soldiers. And Muslims in Israel fight and die for their country. So there was a lot of people don't know this. I'm so surprised that people don't know. Every time we show this on our show, the Muslims and Arabs who fight for Israel and are proud to be Israelis, so many people are shocked. Like, what the hell? Is that a thing? And like, yeah, that's a thing. There are, and this is why on this channel we keep saying that if you want Muslims to have more of a national identity rather than a Muslim identity, you should make them feel proud to be a member of that country. That's how it works. And you can see that this is working in Israel. Compare the Arab Muslims in Israel to Muslims in Palestine, and I will show you a video to compare that. There are more Arab Israelis that feel Israeli more than ever before. We have stats that show this. They feel they are protect. They want to. After October 7th, that number increased. After October 7th, more Muslims and more Arabs in Israel were defending Israel against the Hamas attack, and they were more proud to be Israeli than ever before. And I'm so glad that Netanyahu highlighted this by having one of the Muslim soldiers highlighted, somebody who sacrificed, who risked his life for defending Israel in that speech. That was so beautiful, so well done. I'm so happy he did that. One thing that Netanyahu didn't do that I was disappointed, I will mention to you guys what Netanyahu didn't do that he should have done. That's my main criticism for Netanyahu. Let me know before I say it what you think that is in the live chat. I want to see if anyone can guess it.
On to some more pleasant guests.
With us today is Lieutenant Avichai Reuven. Is an officer in the Israeli paratroopers. In the early hours of October 7th, Avichai heard the news of Hamas's bloody rampage. He put on his uniform, grabbed his rifle, but he didn't have a car. So he ran 8 miles to the front lines of Gaza to defend his people. This is Master Sergeant Ashraf al-Bakhiri. Ashraf is a Bedouin soldier from the Israeli Muslim community of Rad. On October 7th, Ashraf too killed many terrorists. First he defended his comrades in the military base, and he then rushed to defend the neighboring communities. Lieutenant Asa Sofer is also here with us. Asa fought as an officer in the Tank Corps, and he was wounded in battle. He was wounded in battle while protecting his fellow soldiers from a grenade. He lost his right arm and the vision in his left eye. And incredibly, within a short time, Asa will soon return to active duty as a commander of a tank company. There's a fourth hero here, Lieutenant Jonathan Ben Chamo, who lost a leg in Gaza and continued to fight.
This part of the address left us feeling extremely proud of our nation. Before anyone says anything about tokenization,
yeah, go watch the full speech because she didn't show it, but the part that he was highlighting the Muslim soldier was very emotional. It was very touching.
these 4 are an accurate reflection of Israel's populace. And in a beautiful display of resilience, Noa Argemani was also in attendance, standing next to her father, receiving a standing ovation. Whether you love him or hate him, Netanyahu made some important points in his speech. Makes the point that some Americans seem to have forgotten, that the enemies of Israel are the enemies of America.
When he founded the Islamic Republic, Ayatollah Khomeini pledged, "We will export our revolution to the entire world." Now ask yourself, which country ultimately stands in the way of Iran's maniacal plans to impose radical Islam on the world? And the answer is clear. It's America, the guardian of Western civilization and the world's greatest power. That's why Iran sees America as its greatest enemy. It came from the foreign minister of Iran's proxy, Hezbollah, and he said this: "This is not a war with Israel. Israel," he said, "is merely a tool. The main war, the real war, is with America. Remember this. Our enemies are your enemies. Our fight is your fight, and our victory will be your victory."
He also laid out a detailed plan for
See, guys, that part is that's we had an expert scholar on the show with you guys explaining that part in huge detail, the ideology behind this war. It started with the Pahlavi dynasty, now it's Israel, but the actual goal is United States. The head of this octopus is in Tehran, the Islamic Republic of Iran, which funds and supports all of this. All of this problem comes from Iran, and the solution also comes from Iran. The problem comes from Iran, the solution comes from Iran. When Netanyahu said here that they're coming for America, this is why America should be supporting Israel as a matter of its own national security, because the mullahs in Tehran, they removed the Pahlavi in the 1979 Islamic Revolution, but they are still in revolutionary mode. They still call themselves revolutionaries. Remember that show that we had that expert explaining this in great detail? We dissected the ideology behind this for you guys. So Why are they still the revolutionaries? They just won the revolution and now they are ruling the country. Why are they the revolutionary? Because the Pahlavi dynasty that collapsed was only a proxy of what they're fighting against. They're still revolutionary because Iran is just a tool. They're not fighting for Iran. They're fighting against the world liberal order, which they saw the Pahlavi dynasty a puppet of. So they're continuing their revolution until the absolute destruction of the world liberal order. That's the entire goal. So in Iran, the representative of the world liberal order was the Pahlavi dynasty. Now the next step in the Middle East, the representative of that and the barrier to dominating the Middle East is Israel. So Israel is to the Iranian regime right now what Pahlavi was in 1979. So the next step is to free the Middle East from the world liberal order, which means the destruction of Israel. But the ultimate goal is to go for the head and the main protector of the world liberal order, which is the United States of America. That is why defending Israel is defending the United States. Make sure everyone understands this because people don't know the details behind this ideology. And I think you guys now should know what is my main criticism with Netanyahu, because I don't think anybody guessed it. Because when I say the problem comes from Tehran and comes from Iran, and the solution is also in Iran, because the main weakness of this octopus are the people of Iran. And he didn't highlight that. Netanyahu sometimes keeps mentioning the enemy being Iran, and I'm quite picky about that. He shouldn't say Iran. He should say the Islamic Republic, because Iran includes the people of Iran. He should separate the people of Iran and the Islamic Republic. He shouldn't use the word Iran to refer to the... I know this might seem very picky to you guys, but trust me, this is very important to not refer to the government in Iran as Iran. It's very important to use a different word for it. Call it the Islamic Republic, because there's no country in the world has a wider gap between the people and its government. So do not refer to them as Iran. Refer to them as the Islamic Republic. What he didn't do, so that might be too picky, but this is not. What he didn't do, he didn't mention the people of Iran and how much they support Israel and how much they stand against the Islamic Republic. That is the greatest weakness of the Islamic Republic. That's the greatest weakness of your main enemy, and you did not touch on it. That was such a missed opportunity. After October 7th, the Iranian people have shown, I mean, even before October 7th, they have shown how much they support Israel. We have how many videos and pictures do you have from Iran where people refuse to walk on the flag of Israel? But after October 7th, it has been made clear that the Iranian people stand with Israel. Most of them, at least. And you did not touch on that. Why wouldn't you acknowledge that? Do you know how much the Iranian people would have appreciated that if you shown on this speech that the whole world is watching, that you saw that? Do you know how much that would have hurt the Islamic Republic if you have mentioned that and you would have, endorsed and supported the gap between the Iranian people and the regime that has taken them for hostage? By the way, another point I want to say, you know how they call Israel occupied Palestine? Netanyahu should use the same vocabulary for Iran. You should call it occupied Iran. Occupied Iran. Because the Iranian people have been taken hostage by a regime that is not at all a reflection of what they want and their values. So it's not Iran, this is occupied Iran. This is my main criticism for Netanyahu. This was such a missed opportunity. Let's finish this video.
Will be your victory.
He also laid out a detailed plan for peace and coexistence in the future, something that the supporters of the Palestinian side seem to have no interest in at all.
Let's go to the next video, but before that, I will look at this. So, for people who might be new here and don't know what the people in Palestine what the average view there is. Like, we have shown you some stats, but this is, I'm going to show you a video from the West Bank and see, because we have two groups of people. We have liberal people who have been misinformed, and we have progressives who are anti-liberalism, anti their own country, and actually completely conscious, like they know what these Palestinians want, and they agree with it. Like, they are they actually want to support genocide. Like, they have no problem with it. They go shout Allahu Akbar from the river to the sea. Most of them don't know even what river and what sea they're talking about, but some of them, they know, and they're okay with it, and they know that they do want to wipe Israel off the map, right? But for the liberals who are just being misinformed by some of these progressives, and they're anti-Israel, and the so-called pro-Palestine, because they are not familiar with the views that they're supporting. I'm going to show you this video, especially if you are some of them, so that it's a very good short video that will get you. It's a good starter. But this person, his name is Zach. I just want to make sure I give credit to the people that I'm using. He's a comedian, I think. Yeah, it's called Zach Sage Fox, if you want to go watch his other videos. But before I show you this video, let me look at some of the other super chats. Angie just gave us a $2 super sticker. Well, thank you so much, Angie. And then we have Ash here. Ash is saying he forgot to say, hey, yo, shout out to my boy Armin for giving us ideas for his speech. Yeah. And then Ash is saying, as an Iranian and a Persian, I say to my Israeli brothers and sisters, long live Israel. Well, Ash, the Persian identity, I don't think is that important. I do not think it deserves to be highlighted. I think it's the Iranian identity that deserves celebrating, not the Persian identity. But yeah, but thank you for the super chat. Also, Ash saying, yo, BB, if you watching, take notes what Armin says, bro. Thank you so much, Ash, for all the super chats. All right, so let's watch this video. This is a really good video, by the way.
For months now, millions of people.
Oh, by the way, this had a Western music in the background, right? So I removed that using AI, so I don't get a copyright strike. But just imagine a Western song music behind it.
For months now, millions of people around the world have been chanting Free Palestine. Well, I've decided to see Palestine. Welcome to the Wild West Bank. Are you supportive of Hamas?
Yes.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Are most Palestinians?
Guys, when they say they're supportive of Hamas, remember, this is not in Gaza. This is in the West Bank. In fact, the polls show that the support for Hamas in the West Bank is even higher than Gaza.
Hamas.
Yes.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Are most Palestinians?
Yeah.
Palestinian people like Hamas.
I'm with the resistance.
Did you see the videos they posted of what they did on October 7th?
Everything.
And you're okay with all that?
With everything they did.
They killed innocent Israelis. They killed. Yes,
No.
they did.
No.
Yes, they did.
Give me a picture for rape.
Do you think Hamas should release the Israeli hostages?
No.
No. No.
Nothing named Israel.
There's nothing named Israel?
Yeah.
The Quran mentions Israel over 100 times. Is Palestine mentioned in the Quran?
No.
No. The murders Hamas did on October 7th, is that okay?
Yes. They have the right to do it.
The problem is not Hamas. We should look at the bigger picture.
They living under occupation.
But Israel left Gaza in 2005.
Sure?
What does Antifada mean?
Violent.
And neither one of us were born anywhere near 1940. We have to deal with the reality today.
No.
No, don't deal with the reality today.
Britain brought all the criminal Jews since 1948. They can go back. Holland, Iraq.
Most of those places they were kicked out of.
Jews have not been killed or exposed to any struggle or any violence. Not
Almost
in
every country in the Middle East.
No.
Oh, that's true.
Educate yourself. If they are kicked, it's because of their own actions.
What did they do besides being Jewish?
They steal, they do all awful deeds.
Does anyone here hate Hamas? In the
Says, does anyone here hate Hamas?
U.S., it's a big movement right now. Queers for Palestine. Are you supportive of that?
No, we don't have it.
You don't have gay people here.
No.
No.
It's like an alien.
It would not be accepted.
No, to be honest with you, no.
Do you want to live with the Israelis in peace? Or
No. I want one state solution. No Israel.
so no more Israel?
Yes.
Israel wiped off the map.
فلسطين فقط.
We should delete Israel.
Palestine fakat means only only Palestine. Fakat means only.
Peace or
No. I want one state solution. No Israel.
so no more Israel?
Yes.
Israel wiped off the map.
فلسطين فقط.
We should delete Israel.
So you would not be okay with a two-state solution?
Of course not.
Israelis prisoners when they released from Gaza. They was smiling.
You think that these people are genuinely smiling after being held hostage? They're scared for their life.
Who put this in your brain?
I think you're in denial about Hamas. So Hamas implements strict Sharia law. It looks like in Ramallah, at least, you're free to show your hair. Would you want Hamas to be in charge?
They would allow for elections.
Why not? Had elections in Gaza.
They would allow for elections. Okay, well, where is the
Elections in Gaza in 20 years. That's a fact.
Maybe people there want them.
Thanks for watching this report. It truly is a wild, wild West Bank. Peace in the Middle East.
the level of ignorance is so high. Like these are Palestinians in West Bank. They don't know much about Palestinians in Gaza. Like they're a world apart. By the way, they're very different from each other. Okay, but if you spend time educating yourself about any of this, even a little bit, you will, as a non-Palestinian, you will be more aware of Palestinians in Gaza than a Palestinian in West Bank is. And you will be more aware of a Palestinian in West Bank than a Palestinian in Gaza is, because these people are clueless. They live in a bubble. And again, this idea of like you're not from there, so you don't know. Actually, that's not true. Actually, they don't know. It takes very little research to be more informed than the average person that actually lives there. Let me read some of the super chats from you guys. Wow, thank you guys for all the support. Guys, make sure you like this. Actually, I don't even need to say that. The next super chat is saying that. Angie is, thank you so much for the super chat. Angie is saying, like the stream, make it reach more people. Yes, please. Yes, please. It doesn't cost you anything. Like the stream, and more people will end up seeing this channel. NBGS TV is saying, you do great work. Thank you. Well, thank you so much for the generous super chat. That's very nice. Appreciate. Wow, today we're getting a lot of super chats. Appreciate it, guys. And then Ash is giving so many super chats. Thank you so much. Ash is saying, yeah, Iranian didn't mean anything serious by saying Persian. Yeah, I know. I'm just giving you a hard time. So I'm just a picky person. Let me just be picky with everything, okay? Even the super chat. People are like, Armin, if you're being picky, be picky. Just don't be picky with the super chats. So like, I can't help it. I have to be picky with everything. Let me read some of the comments that Alfred has highlighted. Yes. I'm not even going to read that. I'm just going to highlight that because YouTube might think that I'm saying something here that I'm not. Han is saying USA is really a terrorist state full of Islamo-communists. No, Israel, United States is not a terrorist state. United States is the main thing standing behind terrorism and the rest of the world. United States is actually making the United States Army is what's keeping all of the world together. Ronnie Shamai is saying fifth column. Oh, you're calling these people, and the rest of the world knows why Palestinophobia is real. There's a reason every country in the Middle East fears hosting Palestinians. Well, I don't want to generalize all Palestinians. There are many Palestinians who are pro-Israel. There, many does not mean the majority, even though if they are a small minority, it makes them many because a small percentage of a big number is big. So, yeah, I mean, it's true. There are many people, many Arab countries that don't want anything to do with Palestinians. They are not treated very well in Arab countries. Palestinians are not treated well in Arab countries because they fear them. They think they're radicals. They think that they're backwards. However, let's just make sure that we understand that there are Palestinians who are Zionists even and pro-Israeli, pro-peace, and we should recognize that they also exist and we should be supporting them. And we know that because we have one of them usually here in the live chat. His name is Zach, and we love him and we support him. He's a Palestinian living in Jordan, and he's amazing. He's a He's also a Zionist. Let me remove this one. Okay, so Levantix is saying, question, people like Rashida Tlaib, do they know that what they are saying is false, or have they been taught so much Jew hatred that they find everything about Israel believable and logical? I think it's the second one, most likely, based on what I know about people. I mean, the first one is not impossible, but the second one is more likely, usually. Levantix is saying, is Netanyahu a counter jihadist, or does he prefer to stay out of the ideological part of the conflict? No, he is, based on what I have seen, he is very okay with talking about the ideology and also fighting back against the ideology. Again, I have so many criticism for Netanyahu. When I'm saying this, I'm not saying that I endorse everything he does. I also partly blame him for October 7th. So I'm not saying that if he does something that is good, I would say that that's good. And the things that he does that are bad, I would say that those are bad. I'm not like black and white about anybody here on this channel, right? Angry Keyboard Warrior saying Kamala Harris has to appeal to her anti-Semitic voters. Maybe, but I don't think that she looks at it that way. I don't think that's what she thinks. She's thinking that way, because again, guys, do not incompetence and malice. Usually, it's incompetence. Like, do not. We don't know what's going on in people's minds, right? We cannot act like we're mind readers, right? The left in USA is pro-Iran regime, very sick. Well, also, let's be careful not to generalize the entirety of the left. I speak as somebody who has both left-leaning and right-leaning views, right? So when it comes to social, so the separation that we need to be making is not left and right, is liberal versus illiberal, right? So we have the liberal left and we have the illiberal left. We have the liberal right and we have the illiberal right. The problem that we have with many people on the left is not the entirety of the left, is the illiberal left, and the illiberal left includes the woke and the Marxists, and also the part of the liberal left which have been fooled by the woke mob, right? Some people are liberal minded and part of the left, but they think that they're supporting liberal values, but it's because they haven't been informed about what they're supporting. But again, we cannot dismiss the entirety of the left, especially the liberal part of the left, because the liberal part of the left is why we have many things. The civil rights movement, it was because of that, like women's right, freedom of speech, minority rights, freedom of assembly, all of those. Many of the great things comes from the left. So just remember which part of the left we have the problem with. It's the woke left and the Marxist left, not the entirety of the left. Also, when it comes to the right, we have the liberal right, which usually they call themselves classical liberals. And then we have the illiberal right, which are the genuine racist and homophobic or people on the right, right? So not the people who are being called racist just because they want to regulate immigration and because they are nationalists and want to defend their country. If they're being labeled as racist, no, that's actually the liberal right. They are not racist, but the actual racist and the homophobe and the transphobes, that is the illiberal right, right? So as long as you're a liberal, we don't care if you're the left or right. We are in the same camp. And then Rex is saying, actually, there are, but you guys, nationalism is completely in line with liberalism, and in fact is a liberal invention, nationalism, especially civic nationalism. Rex is saying, actually, there are no real numbers about civilian casualties, just the Hamas numbers, which count everybody as civilians. Yeah, but what we're saying here is that even if you accept Hamas numbers, right, with those numbers, assume that you accept those numbers. With those numbers, this is still the lowest civilian to combatant ratio. So if those numbers are lower, the ratio is even better. But if we just accept the numbers of Hamas, the ratio is the best in modern warfare. It's better than the United States for sure. So if you're saying the numbers are lower than what Hamas, and I agree, because we saw that the United Nations actually came and admitted that the numbers given to them by Hamas, the number of children being dying in the war, is completely different from what Hamas has been reporting. So that will cast a huge doubt on all the numbers that Hamas has been giving us. But even with accepting that number, the ratio is unbelievably good, and the Israeli army has performed so well that they should be congratulated as the most humanistic army ever in history. That's how they imagine the most humanistic army ever in history being accused of genocide. The level of unfairness can only be seen when there's Jew. This level of unfairness can only be seen when there are Jews involved, because of the level of anti-hatred Jews, anti Jewish hatred that exists in the world. That's the only way that this happens. Levantix is saying, let me quote Armin: if you want to replicate what happened with Nazi Germany and Japan, Israel should be a lot harsher when it comes to crushing their enemy. It's not even close. Yes, well, true, okay, but crushing their enemy doesn't mean that Israel should stop taking the measures that it's taking right now to reduce civilian casualties. Israel should go very aggressively harsh against Hamas, but the fact that it's doing everything it can to reduce civilian casualties should not be stopped, and it should be congratulated. I just want to make sure Israel should be recognized for the best army in the world, for having the best army in the world, for everything it does to reduce civilian casualties. The Palestinian people should be thanking the IDF for two things: for doing everything they don't, but they should be. Palestinian people should be thanking the Israeli army for getting rid of Hamas, the rule of Hamas over them, but also for doing so much and caring so much about their civilians, about Palestinian civilians, more than anybody anywhere ever has. More than anybody that has been waving a Palestinian flag in Western countries. The people waving Palestinian flags in Western countries, they're using Palestinian blood and misery for their own cause, for their own revolutionary fetish, for the destruction of the world liberal order. They're using Palestinian blood to buy liberal sympathy towards their aims of destruction. Imagine how evil that is. And people who are chanting for Palestine, free Palestine, they're destroying Palestine. The actual people who are freeing Palestine is the Israeli army. They're freeing Palestine from Hamas. We got a super chat. And after this, I need to go because we're over an hour. Guys, make sure you like the stream. Make sure you share this channel with as many people that as you can. Please, everybody, just even random people in the street, unless this is not safe for you, then do not suggest us to anybody. But like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and leave a comment after the show is over. That really boosts the algorithm. Just go tell people Atheist Republic on YouTube. Just tell them this, like, hey, you there, you, Atheist Republic on YouTube. They're like, what? Like, that's it. Nothing, no explanation. Atheist Republic on YouTube. Do it. All right, so let me see this super chat. HD Drake is saying, what the students are doing regarding Israel is something that's been being constructed for years through the postmodern, post-colonial professors taking over academia. I think Gen Z may be lost. Hey, do not give me defeatist attitude. I appreciate the super chat, but do not give me defeatist attitude. You know, many people, when they grow up, their attitudes change. They become more mature. Gen Z is lost if me and you don't do anything about it. How many people on this channel come and say in the live chat, like, hey, I was like completely lost and this channel saved me, and like, thank you so much. Now I see how wrong I was, right? So that happens, you know? So don't give up, guys. This channel and you and me and everyone else here, we have work to do. We could actually inform people and change their mind. It has been done, and we have shown it so many times here on this channel. So don't give up. Do not have a defeatist attitude. We can do it, okay? And then we have another super chat from Angie saying, make citizenship class as part of the education. Yes, exactly. That's a really good solution. Anyways, guys, I'm going to go do the same show on the Persian channel. For people who are new here, I do an English show, and then after that, I do a Persian show, mostly for an Iranian audience, mostly for people from within Iran. If you don't know me, I'm an Iranian ex-Muslim. And most of my audience on the other channel are Iranian. Some of them are Afghan, some of them are from Tajikistan, but most of them are from Iran. So if you speak Persian, come over there. I'm going to be doing the same content over there in a few hours. All right. So that channel is called Jumhuriye Bi Khodayan. But if not, if you just speak English, just make sure that you support this channel in any way that you possibly can. But again, do not do two things. Do not donate money to this channel. If you're struggling financially, even a little bit, just liking and subscribing and leaving a comment, those are free and those are very helpful. And also, do not recommend this channel to anybody if you live in an Islamic country and it could be costly to you. If it's not safe for you to do so, please do not recommend us. Just like the stream, and liking it is hidden. Nobody could see who liked it. Okay. Anyways, thank you guys, and thank you for your support. Till next show. Bye.